Hello, what's up, guys? This is the Straight Talk Podcast with Fella and Rev. I am Fella on the car phone. How you doing today, Rev, bro?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad. But first and foremost, before we get to anything else, we gotta acknowledge that
Gotta do it.
there's still been absolute zero arrests for the cops and killers of Breonna Taylor. That definitely needs to happen. We still waiting on it. It's creeping closer to 200 days every day. And that's not the only one. We just got some more added on, but we're going to get to that a little bit later.
Yep. I mean, you guys already know, really, the Jacob Blake situation.
Yeah.
Come on, we need justice. It's early, so but obviously you're not going to take as long as y'all doing with Breonna Taylor. Hopefully.
Better not.
Hopefully. So go ahead. Just give us some justice. That man should not have been shot 7 times in the back. But to get towards the show, we got guests today.
Yeah, man. We got to introduce our guests. We got 2 randoms off the street to come in the studio.
Basically.
They were in our live studio audience a couple weeks ago, if y'all do remember. But we do have a harmonica extraordinaire in the house. I don't know if you knew that. And we also got
Harmonica
Jay Hill,
extraordinaire.
a.k.a. Justo. Yeah. Throw it to the guests one time. Let the people see him.
What up with it? The harmonica extraordinaire, you feel me? I fucks with it. That's me, you feel me? Not him, me. You feel me?
That's everybody, homie. Everybody, homie, the one and only.
On me, Boogie Bread.
Say what say to people.
Oh, it's on you. Let you go
Alright.
first.
Go stream Dream Girl out right now on all the streaming services. Follow me at Justo Hill on everything.
It's the one and only everybody homie, Boogie Brad, you feel me? The harmonica extraordinaire. That's me.
So come in.
Thanks for having us on the show.
Absolutely, man. Glad to have you,
Yeah,
gentlemen.
appreciate you guys coming out. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun show. I can tell already.
Definitely. Let's start it off, man. You know what time it is. It's question of the day.
Question of the day.
Okay.
Of course, this is a segment of the podcast where I like to ask my friend Rev, and this time our guest, a question, and I grade them on their answer, okay? The grades are completely subjective.
So what can't they do?
So please, don't be upset. Don't get angry. Don't do none of that.
You gotta watch Bug. I feel like he might get a little upset if you give him a bad grade.
It's my grade. It's my grade. All right? So this question pertains to, everybody knows what's going on in the world right now. Everybody knows the situation. Obviously, we mentioned with Jacob Blake, mentioned Breonna Taylor, with the NBA bubble that almost bursted. So my question for you guys is, if you guys put yourself, and I know it's kind of hard to put yourself in somebody's shoes, somebody else's shoes, but if you were an NBA player, okay, and it was yesterday, okay, if you were in those players' shoes, would you be in the bubble? Would you continue to be in the bubble, or like say you're in an NBA meeting last night?
Right.
Would you have voted to stop the NBA season, or would you have voted to just keep playing the season out and figuring it out and continue to be an activist that way? And it could be a yes or no question. It could be, don't make answers too long because we got a decent amount of the show. So yes or no, or you get a little explanation. I give you a grade, of course, based upon your answer.
I wanna circle back to Bug and Jay Hill first.
Yeah, they can ask the question. I can answer the question first.
You want to go first?
I go first.
Alright.
If I was a big player like LeBron James, I'd definitely keep playing basketball because his platform's so big that he could reach everybody through basketball talking about it.
Okay.
Myself, I would also play. Particularly yesterday, I would not have played like how they chose to not do. I might have did something more where we have some type of message where we come on the court for after the warm-ups, and then when the actual game clock getting ready to hit, walk off the court. Try to make some type of message, some type of statement, then walk off the court.
I like that. I think it's kind of tricky. I think it's tricky because you have a lot of people that were against potentially coming in the first place. Because at the time that they chose to resume action in the NBA and go to the bubble, that's when the George Floyd stuff was still it was really out there. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people were like, man, forget the bubble, forget playing games. And then a lot of people went ahead, I guess, sucked it up, so to speak, and went with it. And then you got something else that happens in the middle of it that's like back to the same reason that some of us felt like we should be playing in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky predicament, but also after we've gone through all of this, I feel like you got to see it through. You got to keep playing. The league has been so vocal. The players have been so vocal. I think you should finish it, but I can definitely understand why a lot of people were like, forget this. Let's just wrap it up.
Yep.
Because some people felt like that from the get-go. Kyrie said that's why he wasn't going. Obviously, he wasn't playing, but that's what he was like, forget basketball. We shouldn't even be playing.
Yeah. I do want to ask, I know I only had one question, but quick yes or no. Should we feel the need to apologize to Kyrie?
Yes.
I'm gonna say no because I slander him all the time for different things. But I said a couple weeks ago, I slander him for a lot of things on the court. But as a person and a human, the things he says off the court, I don't slander him for it.
Yeah,
so I didn't apologize. Kendrick Perkins need to apologize.
Yes,
the apology needs to be just as loud as the disrespect.
But I mean, we don't really. I've tuned Kendrick.
Nobody
Perkins
listens to his opinion,
point, so.
but still, Boog, how you feel about it? No more Kyrie slander.
I'm not apologizing to him because he said let's not play, and since he's not been playing, I haven't heard nothing from him or about him.
That's true.
Fair enough.
That is kind of true. He hasn't really said too much since then. I'm not really. I haven't really been subscribing to him or anything. But all right, let me get the grades real quick.
Let's get this rundown.
It's gonna be easy. I'm gonna give everybody A+. I was giving you A+ regardless because I mean it's honestly just your opinion. You should have a choice.
Now it's just my opinion.
Yeah,
because every time you give me bad grades, it ain't my opinion.
Yeah, it's because you be saying some BS. But
no.
Yeah, everybody gets an A+ because in a situation like that, you have the right to make your own decision. And there's no reason you're not wrong. You can't be wrong in that situation because there's a way to look at both sides. There's a way to view both sides, and they both have their benefits.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna give anybody an F. I could have gave you a C just because you the co-host on the show, but I'm being nice today. I gave you an A+.
I'm shocked.
You happy that
can we get the studio audience in the building? Can we get some? Yeah.
We do have a studio audience again. We like the little audience thing, so we're gonna keep doing that.
So something I want to kind of transition to, moving from the question of the day, is something that, first of all, like you said, we all know what's going on. We all know what's going on with the situation with Mr. Blake. But something that Justin brought up, he felt like the players maybe should have done some type of on-court demonstration. You know what league did do an on-court demonstration? The sister league, the WNBA. Their players not only wore T-shirts, each of the shirts spelling out Jacob's name, but then they also had 7 bullet holes in the back of their shirts.
Yeah,
and they took to the court unified, and they were all on the court together. So they did exactly what you were talking about that maybe you felt like the league should have done, or Milwaukee Bucks or whoever that had a game.
They actually did that in baseball too.
Yeah,
Justin said.
Yeah. So I definitely, first of all, we always praise WNBA on this show, not only for being bona fide hoopers, but also they've always been about the reforms. They've always been about bringing light to what's going on in the world.
And it's mainly because they need their justice.
Yeah, they need it too.
In their own right. So.
They need it too. Yeah. So I just wanted to kind of use that moment to segue towards the WNBA, give them a little shine because I think they're doing it the right way. Not to say that the NBA is doing it the wrong way, but I think those ladies have consistently done the right thing time in and time out when it comes to these type of situations.
Yeah. I mean, I can only agree with that sentiment. They've always been the leaders, really, as far as justice goes. Like, you got probably one of the best players in the WNBA.
Her name comes out every week, I feel.
Maya Moore.
You can't give her enough praise for that.
She literally, I mean, she didn't retire, but she basically retired. She walked away in her prime.
Yeah.
She already got a couple chips. She got, if you think about Maya Moore, she's won literally everything there is to win as far as a woman basketball player. So she's done it all, and I mean, obviously that probably allows her to, walk away a little more easy than somebody else or somebody that's competitive like she is. But she was able to do that, completely get we haven't seen a single basketball player do anything to that magnitude of giving up your life for justice for her friend who was in prison for the wrong reason.
Absolutely.
Falsely jailed. So, I mean, yes, you got to definitely shout out to the WNBA always, not with just, justices, but all that good stuff.
Yeah, just in general.
Is there anything y'all want to add to that? I mean, kind of touched on it.
Yeah, I pretty much hit on everything. Like I said, they've been speaking on so many social injustices for years. And as always, they're not. I always feel like they're not compensated for like they actually have skill.
Yeah.
And a lot of they might not have as much flair because of athleticism, but skill wise, they go.
You want to see buckets.
It might be a little bit more difficult for them because they're not as athletic.
Exactly.
So they really got to get to it.
And overcompensate
Yes, they really got. They really got to get to
You
it.
can't have a player. You're not gonna have a player like Zion,
Right.
who's
Just running through
athletic and all he
people.
can. I mean, he can.
Or
He's going to
Giannis.
get better, but what he does is just drive to the basket
Right.
and jump higher than everybody. So
Yeah.
yeah, that is a great point, but is that? So I mean, we wanted to talk about that,
Magic. Yeah.
and then the entire situation yesterday
Mm-hmm.
with the Bucks, basically kickstarting it again. We've said this before. It seems like the NBA is always the league or just the entity
Yeah.
that is in front of all the other leagues. So the Bucks were the first team to basically not show up to the game. They boycotted the game.
Because they were out there for a minute, I think, and then they went back.
I don't think they came out. The
I
Magic
think the
came
Magic
out.
came out. Yeah.
Magic
The
came out. They
out.
never came out. And so I mean, what are your thoughts about like the entire? This is what we're gonna do. So what happened? What was kind of like your thinking process when it was going on? Like I remember tweeting. I tweeted the eye emojis like, oh snap, they boycotting the game.
Yeah.
So what was kind of your thought process yesterday when that happened? Like,
Once I kind of got an idea, because I was at work, but I saw you tweeting. I got notifications, of course. I got Bleacher Report notifications, so I'm kind of swiping through at work.
I was working
But,
too, by the way. I was just tweeting. I was working.
Hats off to the Bucks. I mean, that's a stand-up thing to do, and they had to do that. With them being the Milwaukee Bucks, and you got that going on essentially in your community.
Right.
You know, you're representing Milwaukee. You can't ignore it.
Right.
So,
And then they
kudos
also
to them for
got
doing
a
it.
couple players like Sterling Brown
Who's experienced issues with the police. Yeah.
like most black people have.
Well, yeah.
His
But it was public.
pretty recent in
Yeah.
public.
Yeah. So I was just, I don't know. I don't necessarily want to say shocked, because I feel like shocked has almost a negative connotation. Like, oh my God, why aren't they playing? But I was like, oh, they really about this. Yeah, they really about to do this. So I was definitely impressed. Hats off to the Milwaukee Bucks, and then all the other teams are following suit. But they definitely led the way in that. Because if they went ahead and played, who's to say that any other team would have decided to stay
It might
back?
not have
Yeah.
exactly. It might not even happen this way.
Right.
Where they were able to
I
send
think they
that
definitely set the tone, and then it caused a trickle effect.
across multiple leagues.
Multiple.
All the leagues are playing
For sure.
right now, basically.
Yeah.
And then they all affected them. So what were your guys? Is Justin and Boog, whoever wants to go first? What was your guys' kind of thought process on the whole situation?
When I first saw it, I ain't gonna lie. Like you said, I don't necessarily want to use the word shocked, but I guess I was taken aback. Like, wow, they're really gonna postpone the game. Like you said, with them being the Milwaukee Bucks and this happening in Milwaukee, they should take some type of responsibility and take that leap forward and saying like, hey, we need to make a stand for the people in our hometown.
Absolutely.
It definitely worked because at first I was mad, but then when they got to cancel the games, I'm like, oh, they got us messed up now, dog. These police need to get in order. They messing with what I got going on. I'm rushing home from work to watch the game.
Yeah.
Counted it on me.
And I think that definitely, because a lot of people feel like you shouldn't cancel sports, right? A lot of people feel like sports need to go on, but just to Boog's point, if you rushing home to watch games, and these athletes said, bump a game, we done with it because we need to focus on social issues, you cannot continue to ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could just say, whatever, I ain't watching the news. I'm watching the game tonight. Woo, woo, woo. I'm going to just ignore it. Well, nah, it ain't no game.
Can't do that.
And then inside the NBA, there ain't no show for that either.
Yeah,
Not a full show because Kenny walked out on that.
That was dope. I like that. That was probably one of the cooler moves that I've seen the entire day. Is him walking off the set and saying like, "Yeah, it's just I'm gonna stand with the players myself." And I mean, it's not a knock on any of the other analysts because I mean, obviously they had to put on the show, but
I feel like
it would almost been cool. It almost been cool to see them all walk off with him.
Yeah, it would have been nice. It would have been nice for sure.
And then Chris Webber.
That was my next point.
Chris Webber, what Chris Webber said.
That was.
My God, man.
What's up with Chris Webber?
We don't
Can't
rock with
stand
Chris.
Chris
We don't
Webber.
rock with Chris. We don't rock with Chris.
Chris Webber is trending every game that he announces.
Because he's a horrible
He's
play-by-play
not that bad,
commentator.
bro.
I don't like him on the commentator table, but
Bro,
I
he's not
really
that bad.
enjoyed that particular.
And that was what I was gonna say is like that
that made people kind
of. I feel like that was a slap to y'all face.
Yeah. Not really.
To everybody's face, that was like, you know, he's a horrible. He really ain't that bad. Like he just be, you know, everybody that does the color commentating just be talking.
No, but I don't enjoy his talking at all.
Why?
I feel like he says a lot of dumb things.
What he said, like
he
said something like, "Why? That's why Smurf says Smurf or something."
He always, he always
like,
on somebody jock, and I don't like that. Like when Kevin Durant played for the Warriors, he would be like praising Kevin Durant, like he was.
Why not praise Kevin Durant?
There's a difference between compliments of a player in his game and like. I can't say what I want to say, but he was going a little far. Like, okay, bro, chill out. Like,
I don't want to hear that.
So sometimes his
it's sad that he's trained every day because people. I'm proud. I like Chris Webber. I like all of them.
I like Chris Webber.
They have a hard job.
I like Chris Webber whenever he does not Inside the NBA, but the other show they used to do on Monday nights.
Yeah, the Players Only.
Players Only. I like Chris Webber on Players Only. Mm-hmm. I like
just
him.
Don't like him announcing. Huh?
I don't like him.
Is he better than Charles Barkley?
Hell
no.
Hell no. Neither one.
You can't be better. Charles can say whatever he want up there, and I'm gonna be like, "That's right, Charles." Yeah, Chris Webber just be talking sometimes, but really focusing on the seriousness of what he was saying, man, that was really to me very impactful, very powerful.
The most impactful part was when he said like his nephew seeing a killing on TV before he seen it in the movies. Yeah, that was like,
I ain't even.
I
didn't even listen to it when they clicked to Chris Webber. I turned the TV. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't even get to the speech. They like, we're going to Chris Webber. I'm like, man.
Go ahead, let's give him a try. He said some powerful stuff.
You definitely gotta run that back, pull it up on Twitter or whatever. But it was definitely, to me, very powerful. You could tell he really felt that.
Yeah.
He was holding back tears for sure, and it was just nice to have a moment for him to just solely talk to America. You know, it's just him on camera. It's just whoever was paying attention to the TV at the time.
That's why I was scared.
It gave him.
That's what scared me. Hold on. Why y'all get him a close up? What's going on? Get out of here. I already ain't watching the game. This the replacement of the game.
Chris Webber. No. Yeah, but I just thought that was nice, as well as I mean, there's so many vocal leaders in the NBA, whether it's coaches, analysts, players. Because the other night you had Doc Rivers commenting on it.
Mm-hmm. He said some good stuff too.
Yeah, Doc touched on a lot of good points too. And I think Doc is the son of a police officer. So
yeah, I believe so.
He, you know, and I'm probably sure that anytime it's an issue like this, it probably hits close to home because you have a dad that does this for a living. And you know your dad. Your dad isn't one of these cops that we're talking about. Your dad is also a black man.
Yeah.
But to see these people like, my dad isn't this type of person, but these people keep getting this slander, but also look at the people in his field. And nobody, the cops that are like my dad are holding these people, they're not holding these people accountable. That's Nobody's true. Doing anything about it. Mm-hmm. And then this also affects my community because these people that are suffering this look like me. So it's a lot of layers to it. You can say he was emotional about it as well. So it's just been nice getting to hear them speak out on this instead of just talking about should have turned the ball over less, should have shot better.
Right.
So it was nice to hear a different spin on what's going on.
To kind of, you know, piggyback off the question of the day I asked you guys, also wanted to ask as far as just kind of like, I don't know, how do you feel like we've given any kind of overview of the entire situation, give anybody a platform to talk about that? I mean, is there anything else to add to the like, what are your thoughts
like
as far as personal thoughts as far as just like, what do you feel like they could be doing with the postponements? Like, how do you feel like there's a way to make some kind of change and demand justice and demand change?
I know a notification I got earlier on Bleacher Report not too long before we went live tonight that we're talking about having more support for player-based initiatives for fixing these type of things, listening to the players more, I guess helping them use that platform more to try to change it. But one of the things, who said it? Somebody was saying it's not going to change. It was Chris Webber. He was saying it's not going to change, but you just feel like something has to happen. So it's really hard to put your finger on what you really can do because the system that's in play, the people that are in these seats, the motives behind what they do, it's hard to just slap one thing on it and fix all of that because there's so many layers to it.
A lot.
So it's kind of hard to say really what can be done, I guess.
I feel like, right now we're in the social media era, so we get to see so much, and it can like be casted into somebody's phone where they normally, like you said, if you're not looking at the news, you're gonna see it on your phone while you're swiping. It's just bound to happen. And one thing I really like is a lot of coaches and players talking like they're gonna turn the stadiums and the arenas into polling centers if possible. I think that's really gonna help. All the different issues they talking about with the post office and the mail-in ballots, they trying to make sure everybody's aware of what's going on with that. I just keep bringing awareness, make sure people are taking action, holding people accountable.
Yeah. Book.
Shit. Pretty much everything he said. I like all that shit. I mean, stuff. All that stuff. I'm trying not to because I might say the wrong word, so I just try to keep it. You know what I'm saying? Kosher.
Keep it clear.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's like we hit everything already.
But I think
it's not too much to add to what we've already been saying.
Touching on what Justin said, actually a report came out earlier that Chris Paul did get every player on the Oklahoma City Thunder registered to vote.
That's dope. They should all. I felt like that should have been.
That was speaking and shouting a couple weeks ago. If y'all really pay attention,
yeah.
Josh already spoke on the soapbox about voting.
Yeah.
But I know Chris Paul mentioned it the other night after the. I don't want to talk about that game, but after the game against the Rockets, he spoke on how everybody needs to.
We're gonna talk about the game.
All
the teams
missed that many shots.
I mean, that's the Rockets.
Shut up.
Okay.
Go ahead. Warriors, man, talking about shooting threes.
I mean, the Rockets took it to a completely different
level.
Anyway,
look, before we transition to basketball games,
we trying to.
We're gonna talk about still the players and the initiatives and the movements. You know, they had that NBPA meeting yesterday.
Yeah.
I wonder how that really went, because there's a lot of rumors going on, a lot of ruckus. Both LA
I would
teams
always
saying
love
we
to
should
be
stop.
a fly on the wall.
Yeah, I just want to.
I honestly thought it was kind of cool if it's true that the Clippers and the Lakers were the teams. I thought that was interesting. That probably the two perennial favorites to at least get to the final. Now, one get to the finals, and two probably the favorites to win the championship.
Yeah.
Those were the two teams that spoke up and was like, we don't want to concede. Maybe it's because they're nervous. I'm just playing. But no, I thought that was Mavericks, that's why. I thought that was interesting that those teams.
Pandemic peak.
But I know you guys were kind of touching on it before the show as far as what you guys think the situation with LeBron. Reportedly he walked off. He stormed off. Do you think? Because I personally think like if they reported it. If I'm a reporter, if I'm Woj and I see him walk out before everybody else, I would just be easily because I think Woj did say it.
Yeah,
Woj, he said.
And if Woj says it, I'm almost gonna believe it. Like Woj can tell me the sky is falling, I'm be like, dang, because Woj don't lie.
Yeah,
he don't miss.
Woj be on point.
He be on point with it. But I mean, I want to give LeBron the benefit of the doubt and say he didn't storm out. Maybe there was some misconstrued details there, but at the same time,
I don't think he stormed.
A little bit of a diva personality at times.
He's
so
probably everybody's.
And it's a passionate subject.
It's a passionate subject,
yeah.
and he probably, it might have got to because they also said it got ugly at the end of the meeting. So probably just got a little, heated, frustrated, and it's just him speaking with emotion.
It's a room full of black men who are angry and hurt by this situation. There's a lot of testosterone, a lot of probably confusion on what's our next move, what do we do from here. So it's easy to see how something could boil over.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm kind of interested. I know they met again, 2 players from each team. They met again this afternoon, and they decided to go ahead and resume the season instead of, disregarding any reports that people are talking about just quitting. But now we're waiting to see, is it picking up again tomorrow or is it going to be Saturday? I saw reports that said Friday maybe. Saturday should be for sure, but apparently Friday is a for sure thing now, so I guess we'll see. I don't think for sure means that they'll really do it, though, necessarily. I think we can still see people go, I ain't playing. So I don't know. I'm interested to see how this all develops or continues to develop.
Yeah. I thought it was surprising, too, to see that. I feel like the Lakers and the Clippers are the favorites. And me being a Lakers fan, I feel like we going to win.
If y'all can tell by all the purple in it. Show them shoot, man. Hold up the shoot. Let them see.
Show
them on the feet, man.
Make sure y'all know what's
Straight
going
talk
on.
kick cam.
Y'all know what's going on. Lakers fan for life. Ain't never switched up on my guys.
He sure haven't. Even when it was trash, he was trying to.
Yeah, we ain't
Man,
made
Ryan
playoffs for
Kelly
7
out there,
years.
he was still
Man,
there.
we had Robert Sacre.
Oh,
Oh
I
God.
thought his name was Sucre.
That's prison break.
On me, that's prison break.
Yeah, Robert Sacre, he was trash. Jay Hill, you my dog, bro, just because of your name. You put in work too.
Yeah, he was trash.
That was a good, man, no, he was not. That was a good pickup from the
That
Rockets.
man was terrible.
Yeah, he was
Where he at now?
He was, yeah, he
That
wasn't
man's
terrible.
27 and out the league. Terrible.
He's 27.
Yeah, man's 27 and out the league. Terrible.
I mean, they said like the average career, like what, 4 years though?
Yeah,
Not if you're
terrible.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, how many?
You're good if you're
Yeah,
10
it's
years
like
in the league. 10 years in is good.
Yeah, he was solid for the time being.
No, he wasn't.
Man,
Yes, he was.
That man was terrible.
Hey, I'm
He gonna ride with him because his name Jay Hill. That's the only reason.
I'm
That
riding
man
for
was
almost
terrible.
any
That man
Laker.
career had probably like 15.
Even Smush Parker?
That's why I said almost. Him and Kwame Brown and Chris
Him
Mill
and all them,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Now we
Oh,
talking.
you're right.
They terrible. They all terrible.
As
I'm
you
happy the
said,
Lakers
boy,
back though.
Shaq, you-
That's what I'm saying. You need to give Brian his respect. He brought the Lakers back into the picture. You feel me?
He did. I appreciate that. My only,
Brian.
I love LeBron as a player, but my only criticism of him is that he be acting like he ain't that dude.
Man, he don't, bro.
Yes, he do.
Hold on, let's get some straight. I never lost a debate to him in my life.
He lying right now.
Oh my God, LeBron is that dude. He never act like he not that dude.
All right, so when he just passing the ball for no reason,
It's
when
the
he can
smart
take
basketball play.
No.
He's always been
Yes, it is. It's a smart basketball play.
He's always been
Look, at this point, the show
When Magic was passing, ain't nobody said
Let's-
nothing.
let's-
We hitting the slow switch off to the sports talk that y'all used to, but let's be real. Game 1, they got smacked, and I feel like part of the blame is the fact that he was trying to get 30 assists instead of just scoring the ball.
Exactly.
No,
He
that's
had
right.
He was trying to do
he had
too
a
much
great
pass.
stat line.
No,
It was
sometimes
just
you
too
gotta
much
let your
passing.
boys get
Smack so they can know, like, look, y'all playing around. These boys not playing with us.
That's a good point.
Your
That's a
these
good
boys
point.
not
He
playing.
passes to y'all,
Y'all
y'all
That's
see
a
the
good point
division.
that I like to.
Name one person in the hood you know play like that. Y'all come out here playing
And they ain't playing. Next game come out ready to play.
I
Right?
ain't finna carry
These
y'all.
boys ain't
Do
playing.
something. Yeah, the boys ain't playing.
That's an excellent point because I think what the thing that happened in game 1 is that the entire Lakers team realized like,
Oh.
okay, this is not just a regular.
And
AC.
maybe
we
LeBron
got smacked even.
was the only person who took it serious because he said that leading up to the game. He was like, "This ain't no AC.
No,
this,
you say it all
it's
the
a
time.
good game."
You
No,
say it all the time as
but
first seed. We got to take this game serious.
For years, he's
we're not
always
gonna look
giving
ahead
Dame
to
his
the
props. Even going back to Cleveland, people asked him about Dame being underappreciated. He was like, "Give him to me, I'll show you how appreciated he is." So I
Yeah.
think he respects Dame's game, and he was like, "Nah, they ain't playing." So maybe the rest of the Lakers needed that wake.
That's a good point, Book. Though
I'll give you that.
He
I'll give you
was
that. That was a-
like,
that
if
was
y'all
a
gonna
decent
keep
take.
missing these shots, and then the next games they've been. Only reason I think they've been winning so, as a
By
wide
the biggest margin that they are. Yeah.
margin wise,
There we go.
is because they've been making their shots like that, and they shooting like 40-50% from the three, and they've been 60% from the field almost. So it's like.
It's decent.
Listen, all the real Lakers
The greats
greats
dominate. They don't
You know what I'm
take. They don't
saying?
let no
Yeah.
game go like here. I'm
What do
not
you mean
gonna.
they dominate though? Magic wasn't averaging 30.
But Magic has got the mindset.
Yeah,
I'm not
so
taking the
what's
night
that?
off. I'm not finna.
I'm not finna slow myself down so
Yeah, I can get a point.
I think
I'm gonna
LeBron
go out
has
here
the
and
same
try to go
mindset.
hard.
But
Magic-
also, Pat Riley at one point told Magic, "Stop playing with me and score the ball. Like you doing all this passing. I love it. Score the ball." Magic scoring numbers went up, and they started playing a lot better.
So you
So
can't
maybe
say all
LeBron
the
needs that
Lakers-
same pep talk.
Yeah, but if Magic had to get that pep talk, that means
Okay,
LeBron
but Magic
might have
could
beat
not shoot. Magic was not as gifted as far as the scorer goes.
LeBron can't really shoot either, if we're being honest.
Have you seen the few threes?
Threes,
Have you
no.
seen? Have you seen?
LeBron not a consistent shooter.
He's not a very good.
Or the free throw
He
line.
can get hot.
Yeah.
But he a monster everywhere else.
You get a little ding, and maybe the light bulb just went off for LeBron to maybe stop.
It already went off. He been hooping every.
He been hooping. He had a good
The first
game.
He's
the other
had
night.
good.
He pulled
had
that.
good
He tried to be
numbers
Dame
on
the
both
other night. He pulled that deep three. I said, "Oh, okay."
ends. He hit it though.
And he hit it. He hit it. I said, "Okay."
Look, Paul George, that's a bad shot.
That's a bad shot. I don't.
Hey,
know
I'm with Paul George.
That's a bad shot.
That motherfucker. That shot was. I'm an OKC fan. That shot wasn't it. For real. I ain't gonna lie. That was a bad shot.
I say that.
Bad shot.
It was on
I
Paul
understand
George.
that's
Paul
his
George is
shot.
like a green light on him, if you think about it.
Paul
Like, he
George-
been getting cashed this
He
whole
gets
season.
gamed
Yeah,
every.
he been getting cashed. It's like automatic. Like, oh, I got Paul George on me. Let me cash him out.
And it's sad because he's such a good defensive player.
A great division.
Once it comes to a buzzer beater
He's
situation,
been getting cash.
Cook.
So it's just like
Cook
wow.
season. You know, that was the game that actually made me put all of my OKC shirts deep down in my closet. I was sitting there watching the game. I said, "Don't make it. Don't." I'm done. I went in my room. I commented on OKC. I said, "Y'all suck." I unfollowed. I said, "Y'all effing suck." I unfollowed and got rid of every shirt I own.
You can't tell me nothing. I don't know. I think like
you ain't seen me wear OKC shirts since.
I still represent, but like the
2017. Was it 2017? 2018 playoffs? When we lost to the Spurs?
No, that was 2014.
That was 2014.
That was 2014.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was on his birthday. We lost to the Spurs. We watched him before we went to his little shindig. I cried. Turd. Hurt.
Hey, I cried the day KD left. I cried the day KD left. The night before I had on a shirt. I had on a KD shirt. And Josh was like, he leaving. I was like, man, stop playing. We good. I woke up to people blowing up my phone. Hey, KD.
I was trying to bang with him.
I was hot. I was hot, bro. I was on the phone with somebody. I said, they said, what's wrong? I said, I don't want to talk about it, man.
Try to tell you.
He ain't never DM me back.
Hey, you got to hit him up on Twitter. That's where you be.
That's why I DM'd him at. Told him come holler at me. He ain't never hit me up.
Nah, you gotta find that burner account.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen.
True.
Yeah.
Find that burner account. He'll reply.
Probably just slide to Brooklyn.
He like, what you say?
Find him.
He's just going to be running around bed, stop looking for him.
He's 7 feet. It ain't hard. You feel me?
Oh, God.
Go ahead and do my thing.
He gonna roll up like old boy on above the rim.
Yeah.
Gonna have a book bag.
Give him one
Hey
of
Kevin,
them
I just want to talk, man.
You gonna pull up like Snoop Dogg and Baby Boy.
Right.
True.
Out the window with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think were y'all surprised at all how much the Lakers turned that series around versus the Blazers? Did you expect them to lose and then just steamroll the rest of the way?
I already knew what was up.
I expected us to win. I wouldn't say steamroll.
Yeah.
The Blazers have been running
into injuries and stuff. So like, you got C.J. McCollum with the back fracture. You got Dame dislocating his finger, and then now the knee sprain. So
Man, I already knew what's up. Dame came off their play-in game and all the other games he was hot. I'm like, they losing game one, then LeBron just go, you know what I'm saying, do what LeBron do. LeBron wasn't even in playoff, you know what I'm saying, he wasn't in playoff mode. He was chilling. He was chilling the whole bubble pretty much. But when he lost that first game, you know, everybody in the locker room, like, it got real. Like, all right, yeah, I think I'm playing.
It was that 2K moment. I feel like LeBron and the Lakers have been sitting here like this playing.
Yeah,
He
stood up.
They said, hold on, man. Stop playing. Stand up.
Yeah, I stand up and get busy.
I was so hoping they could just kind of like get burnt out
because the Blazers have been playing so many games back to back with like
You can tell that
rest.
And Dame may have to go crazy so much. And it's like, Melo ain't been doing nothing for real. CJ.
Melo been doing more than CJ.
Yeah, Melo.
Gary Trent Jr. too.
Man, one of them been doing
Gary
good.
off though.
Yeah, he fell off hard.
He bought out against the Clippers
In the
and
seeding
faded
games,
away.
yeah, the seeding games, he was knocking down everything. He
Yeah,
couldn't miss.
Nurkic too.
Nurkic been playing horribly.
But
Oh my
then
god,
too, he
that
did
game.
just lose his
Well,
grandma like
play-in
last
games, he
week,
was playing
and they were real close. So that
Yeah, but
probably
he
hurt.
fell off
Yeah,
in
he
this
did.
series. Like
It's a distraction.
Now, one thing
Nurkic was making me mad.
I
Can't ignore this. The refs have been helping us out. I can't lie. The refs have been helping us out. As a Laker fan, you know, I don't know, people probably gonna look at me crazy, but the refs been helping us out. I appreciate y'all.
I can't really attest to that. I haven't really been able to watch the games.
The
I've been able to
refs
listen to
are
them.
wanting the LA teams to win. I think we've realized that in both LA series. Because there's been some questionable calls. Not game one, we moving past that. There's been questionable calls in that Mavericks-Clippers series too, where it's like, okay, look, the Clippers are not playing good basketball. You can't keep trying to keep them in this game.
Yeah, I don't see how they keep saying that the Clippers looking terrible.
They are.
You know what? They got playoff beat. As an OKC fan, you know
All
we
that.
in the
Not
playoffs.
even that. They
He has a good game or
Will
two,
ain't
and he
been
don't do
looking.
nothing.
Will ain't been looking fantastic.
Montrez either.
That's because he's from Louisville. He terrible. Anyway, yeah, he terrible.
I think that's cap. What y'all saying? I think the Clippers been looking pretty decent. I mean, they
What
beat
games
them
you been
by
watching?
50.
Yeah, without
One game.
Oh, one game.
Yeah, one game.
Yeah, but that was niggas too.
The game 4 that they lost was Luka.
Cash.
Other than Paul George, I think the team has been looking good.
No,
Lou Will
if they were
been
looking
getting
good,
30 off the bench.
if they were looking good, they never would have
Paul-
blown that lead to put Luka in a position to send them home like that.
Okay, but Paul
If they were
Paul
looking
George, it's on Paul George. He
No,
been
it's
putting
not
up-
just on
he
Paul
could-
George
he
because they
couldn't
were
put
no,
up 15
bro.
points.
Shut up,
in
I
the
don't
game.
want to hear that.
I ain't gonna
I'll
lie to
tell
you,
you, because if that was LeBron that switched off their screen and didn't go on Luka, they would have been
They
killing
would've
Bron.
The only
They
people I
killed,
really
they
heard say
overkilled.
anything to Kawhi, Kenny and I think Kenny and Chuck both was like, you can't switch on that. You got to stay on that. But I know Clippers' whole thing to switch everything because they got so many defensive.
It's crunch time.
Kawhi should have stayed on Luka, but I was
My
okay
thing,
with
if
it because I love
that's the
Luka.
game plan, then it's been like that. Like
If you are
if
one
we
of
go
the
back
best
to the-
defenders in the league, you know how Luka built.
Yeah,
Don't give
but-
him that opportunity.
but
You
do
let
you-
Reggie
do you-
Jackson on.
Do you remember in
Reggie
the,
Jackson.
Do you remember?
Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson.
Do you
Jackson
remember
terrible.
when
I just want to make sure.
the Warriors and the Cavs were in the finals, whichever year, the
All
entire
seven.
games, both teams were switching everything, and it wasn't even like they wasn't trying to fight through the screen. For whatever reason, both teams were switching on the screens, and it was weird because it was like, why is nobody trying to guard anybody? Like Clay wouldn't try to switch. He would just let Steph be on
Get
LeBron.
cooked.
And it's just
Yeah.
like, so I mean, if that's the game plan, you can't really blame.
I think
them
in
on
a
the
crunch
game plan.
time situation, you're up by one. You
I would've
have one
liked
of
to see
the
Kawhi
best
guard,
defensive player. I feel like that's your calling card is your defense. It has been for years. Slowly, you've become an offensive player, but defense been your thing. 2-time DPOI. You know how Luka built. You don't let him take that shot, especially over Reggie. Who is Reggie?
Man, defense, you gotta
want
want
to
to
do it. You gotta be like, I would have been told Doc, bye.
You know Paul ran
I
from
got
that
it.
assignment
I got
because he's
Luka.
scared of game winners.
Wherever he go, I
Paul
go.
George ran from that assignment. He ain't on it, so you got to step up.
But I also think he would have made it regardless of who was guarding him.
I mean,
The
Luka
step back,
Kawhi
the
was
step
on
back,
him at first. That
Yeah.
screen though.
the step back
You fight over that.
that he made is the same step back
Not in
that
that situation.
James Harden does every time.
That's
It
I told
doesn't
you,
matter
that's
how
why
close
James
you
Harden-
on
Big
him,
enough
but
to
he
get
gonna
him
make
free.
it.
I told you that's why James Harden. He built
Otherwise,
different.
you got a hard roll down.
You gotta make sure everybody
Come
rotates.
hurt, man. Just come hurt. It was like a little weak screen, man. Like
Man,
weak screen. Seth Curry probably set the screen, man.
Yeah,
don't
I
think
get
that-
screen. If
Yeah.
Luka is open,
Man,
somebody go get
If me and you
him. Now,
move
if we
it,
go trap him, that's a different story.
Forget the
But
trap,
you still
man.
got the
You gotta
man that's
want to do
rolling.
it. You gotta.
And they gotta force everybody to rotate.
They do that all game.
They
Just
still-
fight through it.
One of my favorite things about the playoffs being postponed, and they will continue, is the fact that Luka gets to chill a little bit after Mr. Morris intentionally stepped on his foot to mess up his ankle some more. KP gets to rest a little bit, let that knee get better. Maybe Paul George ices his shoulder so he can continue to have a
The
decent
series
game.
is over. I'm gonna be honest.
How is that over?
It's over.
You really gonna play
If
us
Paul
like
George scores 20 points, it's over. They can't.
Josh,
They're not going to be able to.
he
put it
had-
in.
Come back,
he had
I
one
think
good-
it could still be a series.
that? Exactly.
No, it's
Exactly.
Not. It's not going to be a series.
If we kept up,
If even with Kristaps Porzingis, I'm telling you, all Paul George has to do is score. Everybody else is clicking on the team. Paul George was
so
literally
you
putting
think
up
when
less
they
than 15
resume,
points.
you think when they resume, that's the last game of that
That's the
series?
last game of the series. As
Clip
long
it.
as Paul George
Clip.
scores 20 points.
We'll
if
see.
he can score 20, it's a wrap. It's easy. It's like the Dallas Clippers are a better team.
He digging himself in
They
his
are
hole.
better
You hear this?
team.
Are a better team
They
than the
ain't been
Dallas.
playing like it.
Literally,
That's what I'm
only
saying.
reason
Ain't nobody
only
denying that.
reason
They
Dallas
definitely better
won
team. They a favorite
one
to
of
win
the two
championship.
games is because Paul George. Paul George is the second best player on the team, and he had 12 points.
When
And
you
they
got,
still
when you
barely
got as
won.
many
They still
weapons,
barely
when you have
lost.
as many weapons as the Clippers have, I don't want to hear that. I don't
No,
wanna
but
hear
he's
that.
one of the main.
I
I don't
care.
care. No, he's one of the main weapons.
Because
all the
even
other
with Paul
weapons
George
scored.
doing nothing, y'all still been running away at
But
times in this game.
you're
so I
taking
don't wanna
away
hear
from
it.
the Mavs are still a good team.
I didn't
So
say that.
so if you take away their second best player, Mavs should still be able to beat them. But Paul George has to be.
Nah,
They should be
they
able
got a
to beat
bunch of bums on that team.
But
No, I think they
the
should.
supporting
Without
cast
Paul
been
George,
hitting them shots. They've been hitting them shots.
Without Paul George, they should be able to beat the Clippers. And
You're
I'm
saying
saying,
without
I'm
Paul
saying,
George,
I'm saying with Paul George shooting 20 shots and only scoring 12
Nah, they
points,
still got
taking up all them shots, it's
Still
a
got
fair.
So I
it's
said
a
they
fair
still
game.
got so
Yeah.
many weapons. That's why I'm like, I'm not really trying to hear that.
No, because all the other weapons ball. Montrezl has been balling. Lou Will's been putting up 30 in the game that they lost at the game winner. He had 30.
Them little ski corner rubbers.
beat them.
Barely touching the back of his
Yeah.
leg.
Kawhi had 30.
You know what that's about, though. There's probably ain't no
Girls in the bubble, you know what I'm saying? Probably a hairstylist in there.
He missing Magic City.
Man, come holler at me, do my hair. I'll be on the same
Yeah,
thing.
it's on camera.
Braid me up. Braid me up.
Straight up, is the only action I'm
grown.
getting.
So it's all. So
I
he
don't
on the
really-
Stephen A. Smith train. He think the bubble needs some visitors. It sound like.
What?
The bubble do need to be
I be hurt in the bubble.
Man.
Hurt. I'm on anything moving. A girl cooking her chicken fingers in the back. Something. You feel what's up with you? What's up with
I'm
you?
sure they are though.
Yeah, you looking
I'm
good
sure
today.
some people that working.
Like my chicken
Fingers
fingers.
well done. Straight up. Come holler at me.
So let me get extra barbecue sauce, please.
Yeah, what's
I
up?
need that.
What's up with you? You
Do this all the time? It's your day job. Oh, okay. Room 507. Don't go home.
He's slipping keys at the buffet.
Yes, come holler at me. Bring some more fries.
Hey, so I
disagree with that. I think the Clippers look better than the Lakers to me.
Well, they
Clippers look better than the Lakers
for me,
in
and
the
I
playoffs.
say that, and I say, well, I shouldn't say they
the
look
team
better.
that's been steamrolled and looks worse than the team that's barely beaten.
The thing about the Lakers is they're not going to shoot 50% from three for the rest of the playoffs.
That is really
Well, I want LeBron to stay aggressive.
So
The
if
thing
they
about
shoot,
Clippers
have
is
they
have
been?
Paul George is notoriously
Listen,
bad
if they
in the
shoot,
playoffs.
if they shoot how they've been shooting the rest of the season, they would be struggling against Portland. They would be struggling, but the fact that they've been hitting their shots at a high clip, way higher than what they did all season, they're not a good 3-point shooting team. The fact that they've been able to do that, that's why they've been steamrolling Portland. That's not going to last for
Or
the
the fact that Portland's
Dude, we had
backcourt is
Y'all
struggling.
haven't been a bad 3-point shooting team all season.
Don't really be bad.
I mean,
Our main thing that we've been doing is defense to offense. We've been having a lot of fast breaks and stuff, but we have a lot of length on our team. So, like, fast break threes, we got LeBron. This is my main point. If LeBron forces whoever's guarding him to actually guard him, like if Gary Trent Jr. is on him, go hard, force everybody to trap, that opens up everything. Now, game one, we still had some open shots and missed them. That's not going to happen every game, though. We don't hit our
I
shots.
need to bench KCP. That man's terrible.
Man, I've been wanting to get rid of KCP for
That
so
man
long.
is terrible.
I don't know
But
how he
he's
got
a-
signed, and more importantly,
We gave
not
him a
how he
bag,
got
too.
signed. I don't know how he's maintained a spot.
We gave him. He got a starting spot too.
it's because it's defense. They got good. I mean, you're
It's
a good
replaceable.
defensive team.
It's replaceable.
No, they got. He's. I think he's a good defender.
He
I
ain't
think-
barely
I think with-
Danny Green.
I think with
he's on the same
KCP,
caliber
you need to run.
defensively.
You need to run the hockey style substitution. Each possession, he need to come right back out.
Yeah.
They score. Okay, get back in there. as soon as they score, and it's time for us to run the ball down the other side of the court. Hey, get back out here. I'm sending you in because he don't need to be out there
I don't
for
think
30 minutes just running. He might as well be at LA Fitness.
I don't
I
think
think any Lakers fan like KCP.
I don't think nobody does.
Yeah, good cardio for him.
Honestly, I could be out there doing laps on the court if I was just gonna brick every shot. They could have signed me to do that.
He like Forrest Gump. I was running.
Running.
I was running.
He was running. 'Cause that's all he did game one. He played like 33 minutes,
And
shot
one-
one for 37. He just
it had
1
one
point.
point.
one point. You had one job. and you
Charles
scored
always
1
said,
point.
"Yeah, one more point to me."
Yeah, one more point to me tonight.
Come on, man.
Yeah, that was.
Kuzma got to step it up consistently too.
He hit that one game when it started smelling himself, and then he.
But like, I think it was Charles Barkley that said it was like
He had great numbers when we were bad.
Yeah.
Now that we're good, I know we got AD and that take away from some of his shots, but he got to be more consistent. I think he can be and should be our third option. Kind of like how Lamar Odom was coming off the bench for us, and he was a killer off the bench. I think Kuzma can be not as good as Lamar Odom.
I was about to say.
Oh no, I'm like I ain't gonna say nothing crazy like
I
that.
think Kuzma needs to be traded. That's what I think.
Yeah, me and Josh said this.
He'll be valuable, but I don't want to trade.
Me and Josh said this a number of times. I think on and off air. Get Kuz out.
It's not a good situation for him. I feel like.
It's hard to me to put a 20-something-year-old young star with plenty of potential. I ain't even gonna call him a young star, young potential star, on a win now team, especially a LeBron-led win now team, because you expected to do a lot. And you 20-something trying to figure out your game, so you still trying to develop your craft, whether it's your scoring, your defense, whatever. And you playing next to somebody that said, "Look, bro, if we don't make it to the finals,
If you miss your shots, you on the bench.
if you miss 3 more shots, unless your name is KCP, because I like you on the court.
I mean,
If you miss 3 more shots, you're on the bench. And come February, make sure you have your bags packed just in case I decide
He
you
had
out.
somebody not good as Kuzma, but somebody like that. And Norris Cole coming in, you feel
Norris
me?
Cole did his job. Norris Cole did
I'm
his
saying, all
job.
Kuzma got to do is do his job.
But the thing about Kuzma is that he has the potential to be actually like all-star.
Exactly.
Norris
Norris
Cole
Cole didn't have it.
never had that
But
potential.
still,
Norris
though,
Cole, a decent
he ain't
playmaker,
gotta
and
do
he
that
gonna
right
knock his
now,
shots
though. All
down.
he got to do is
It's life for him. You got AD and Bron.
I think
It ain't no
Kuzma
pressure.
is similar in the sense of Brandon Ingram, not nearly as talented, but in the sense that Brandon wasn't going to thrive next to LeBron. Because he got too much
Not the way
potential to
he's
be
been
turned
thriving.
into the third wheel. He got too much, you know what I'm saying? He has too much potential. And I think Kuzma has too much potential to be the third wheel player.
But you can also say,
I think a lot of third wheel players you look at, they have one particular thing they're real good at, and they know how to do that well. Catch and shoot ain't Kuzma's thing. He ain't going to be your best defender or your rebounder out there. That's usually what the third string player is. You know what I'm saying? The first two are the good dominant. That third string either know how to shoot the ball real well, and that's your rebound defense hustle guy.
So now Brandon Ingram only had
one season with LeBron?
Yeah,
I mean, he just blew up out of nowhere when he.
But that's
he
he
always had
been
that
looking
vision.
forward to it because people knew he was built
But
like
he was
that.
getting looks.
It was just a matter of him getting.
Like Luke Walton was putting him in positions to get his looks. He was even trying to like build his confidence, have him bring the ball up more. Like he had opportunities
in LA to be that dude before LeBron got
Yeah, but it's even like you have certain,
development.
it's a difference to have certain spots in games, or and then you have that first quarter or whatever you want, however long you want to allow him to bring up the ball.
Right.
But if he's messing up and y'all losing, it's a critical game. He's not going to do it for the entire game.
Whereas in New Orleans, he gets to do it whenever and how much
win or
he
lose,
needs to.
he's the best player on the team.
Right.
So
they wanted him to be like that though.
We had him, D'Angelo Russell, and Jordan
Well, I think
Clarkson. That's all we
the thing
had
about
to
those
the
three,
club.
who all three have potential. You see how all three of them have blossomed over the years. If you don't stick with it long enough to let them see it through, because if you give up on year 2 or 3 and say, okay, we need to do this now, you're never gonna get to see the finished product. If you're trying to force it on them year 1 and 2, you ain't gonna come in the league 19 doing that, 19, 20, whatever. Only a couple players come in the league doing that. Only a couple players coming in doing that. So you can try to do it all you want, but if I'm not there yet with how well-rounded my game is or whatever, it's not going to be there. No matter how much you're trying to force it, it's not going to be here yet. I got to develop.
Brandon Ingram showed signs
of what he was doing in New Orleans and in LA.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. And even if it wasn't on a consistent basis,
you knew he had
I always
potential
knew
to be
that
a
Brandon
bucket.
could do that.
Even before
coming out of college for sure, but once he got to the NBA, it's just like, all right, maybe you need to put on some more weight.
Basketball, the thing is, it's always situational
Yeah.
with basketball too, though. And like I said, especially with young guys, a lot of young players. Not every young player is gonna be Luka or LeBron, where you come in your first year just, damn, he is good. A lot of young players, it's gonna take you 2, 3, 4 years before you really start to see. Now I'm seeing the potential that I knew he had as a college kid at 18.
I feel
it's
like
just now coming full circle.
I feel like I remember even thinking like, yeah, he'd probably be the next KD, and that's what he.
Coming out of college, I believe
Like
like
everybody.
I think I'm saying that wow, like
Hey,
I guess
Boog laughed at that. I don't think he
laugh.
felt that way.
You don't think he'd be the next KD?
He said KD.
well, not exactly
Please.
KD, but
Not
Like
exactly
that
what
KD
that-
mode.
The
Yeah.
length, he got the length, he got the shot, he got the mid range.
the handle.
I mean, I'm not saying he might
Not
not
the
be
same
as
amount,
great, but he can be close to it. Like to be KD, if he gets a couple scoring champs, which I think he could potentially do, he averaged 25 this year, and he's still getting better. He's got the length. If he gets to the point where he's a knockdown shooter, he's got the length to where it's just like KD is. You can't block his shot. There's nothing you can do. He's just gonna get to his spot.
Yeah.
He's gonna pull up over you. There's nothing you can do to block his shot. That's what I mean, like KD.
Yeah, definitely. He'll hoop him, but I don't know.
You know, you
And
still
get
got
Lonzo out there. Lonzo's terrible. He don't even
Man,
want to play no more.
Man, look,
Lonzo's terrible.
look, man. No, I don't want to hear you say chill on nothing because you was
Lonzo
talking about him
terrible,
too.
Man. Lonzo don't want to hoop no more.
I think Lonzo's biggest issue is Dr. Umar's disappointed in his life decisions and it's starting to weigh down on him. But that's another story. Dr. Umar is disappointed in his life decisions. If you know, you know.
I think he's trying to hit Diddy, man.
If you know, you know.
Yeah,
I think it's weighing on him.
Was he mess
Lonzo,
with them?
man.
He messed with them?
Yeah.
Ah,
That's
no
what baby
wonder.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what I said. If you knew, you
another
knew.
coon.
Whoa. Hey, well, we gonna wrap it up. Hey, we need the FCC to jump in. Where the color bars at? We need. Hey, just so we can throw this out here for future reference, the views and comments of our guests do not reflect those of
this
Straight Talk
podcast.
or its associates. Because whoa.
Talk about animals, man. You know, the pest.
Hey,
Pest control.
we gonna move
Single
on,
one out
man.
there.
Look.
I do want to ask y'all. I want
to
to ask y'all the question. The potential of, I think we can all kind of say Dame's not playing.
Mhm.
The Lakers
He left
got
the
this-
bubble.
Yeah, Lakers got this
So
series.
let's say wait
pretty
another
much.
12 days or something for him to come back and
Yeah.
quarantine.
Pretty much in the wraps. So I think looking forward to the next series. The 4 or 5 seed is OKC and
The Rockets.
Rockets. Okay. One, who do you think would be a better matchup as far as beating the Lakers, the favorite?
Rockets.
And
Nobody.
do you think either or the teams can beat them? I'm sure Boog wants to speak on this a little
Yeah,
bit.
let me and Boog handle this one. What you
okay,
got?
see.
The Rockets is having problems with us. OKC, you feel me?
Man,
Is it
problems.
tied?
They have problems.
It's
2-2.
They have problems with themselves.
No, they have a problem with
Shots.
us. Yeah, my point, and we got a Steven Adams cool, but he ain't really no dominant big man on the offensive end. So they go against the
You
Lakers
know
like
who
with
he
AD.
look dominant with? Russ made him look dominant. I'll tell you that. He almost got an All-Star nod last year.
Yeah, Russ did. But you know what I'm saying?
Sometimes
He holding it down. But I'm just saying if they go against AD, PJ Tucker too little. That's over with.
During the regular season, the only thing I can say about regular season, and it's playoffs is a different game, but the Rockets have matched up pretty good against the Lakers. And that too little stuff, AD sometimes plays soft, especially when Russ is running at that rim to you. People 7-3 act soft. When Russ is running at that rim, they fall back instead of trying to contest.
Definitely.
And then with the way the Lakers shoot the three during the regular season, because they ain't gonna be hot like Josh said. The Rockets, on the other hand, more times are on than off. If they shooting the three the way they normally do, because they ain't gonna have games like they did the other night every night.
I would say Rockets don't stand a chance.
They've been looking real iffy, man. We young. OKC young.
I don't think they're gonna beat. First of all, I highly doubt OKC or Houston actually beats LA. It's probably not gonna happen. If LA was gonna lose, it would have.
So y'all don't think it's possible either?
You talk about who the best matchup in the West
for the Lakers?
No, I was talking about in the next season.
The coming round, I feel like the most entertaining matchup will be Houston versus LA.
But that's trash.
I don't think OKC. No,
I like OKC better. Rockets just
They games just be.
OKC the 2 games they won, they like barely pulled off.
Rockets barely pulled off.
No,
the first game was
bad. The second game was close. The third game and fourth game, we, you know what I'm
that's
saying?
because they found out the door didn't actually sit on hard.
No, that was because we young. That's all it was. We young.
And then y'all got Schroeder coming off the bench.
And Shea young. I'm still. We got some young goonies. You know what I'm saying? We talking about Darius Bazley. You know what I'm saying? Schroeder. You know what I'm saying? Shea. We young. Who really ain't never been to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So therefore,
y'all impressive, sure.
We got
2-2 with the Rockets.
Yeah,
a lot of people had Rockets as their second favorite, their sleeper pick to win the finals.
Look, because what happens with the Rockets, and we've talked about this for years, going back to Golden State, even before the Rockets became the team they are. If you live by the three, you're gonna die by the three.
But you can tell who team that is.
Most times.
You can definitely tell that's Russ' team. And he just
every
got
team he get on,
you can see that's Russ' team.
You know who the real leader is. James just can hoop, but he ain't the leader.
He don't even.
Russ the leadership leader.
If James put all his game on display instead of just shooting threes all the time, it'd be way.
That game 4 that they lost. James had one hell of a stat line. He filled the board up on all 3 slots. He really tried, but they just wasn't making them.
If he hoop, like go to the rim, you know what I'm saying? Mid-range, you know what I'm saying? Everything.
The other thing with the Rockets, though, the more threes you shoot and you start missing, that's the other thing. But they depend on 3-pointers and free throws. If the refs swallowing the whistle, and you not gonna make the threes to make up for the lack of foul calls, you screwed. And the other night, the refs was not blowing the whistle, and they was not making the threes. Yeah, so that's the thing with Houston. Like, you got to do one or the other. If the refs ain't going to call it, you got to, first of all, start driving a little more. Get the contact a little more if you need to, or shoot some mid-ranges. You don't have to keep forcing the three. Because if you're not making them, your bread and butter is gone. So you got to come up with some type of alternative.
It's a one-dimensional routine.
What's up, Big Chris? Appreciate you coming out.
I think,
go ahead, Justin. I was just going to ask you. So, as a Lakers fan, who would you prefer?
Who is the easy? You don't
want to see us.
I would prefer the Rockets. I say I prefer the Rockets. One, because he don't want. One thing I always. Anyway. I think people get caught up in playing the Rockets game with all that fast break ball, shooting threes, because like when I watch Rockets games, it turns into like a track meet. So like if you actually force them to guard you in the post, and we got AD, we got Dwight off the pick and roll, we got McGee, we got Kuzma who has some size to him. He don't really post up too much, but we got some size. He ain't soft. Kuzma.
I wouldn't call him
not soft.
I ain't gonna say.
I would never say that.
Okay,
I'm not saying he's like just a physical player, but he's not soft. Even with the Morris twin though.
Hey,
trash can spoke.
We have a voice activated, motion sensor trash can. We started talking about Kuzma. We started talking about Kuzma and trash can.
Trash. Listen, we got too much size for that.
Okay,
I do.
Kuzma ain't soft.
I think the better matchup for them would be. But I mean,
I just don't think
does the Thunder really have
the only real size they got Nerlens Noel.
But
they actually use they got Gallinari.
Then they got Grant.
No, Grant is in Denver.
He gone.
That was part of that real
Grant in Denver.
Okay.
Yeah, but they actually utilize Steven Adams and Nerlens Noel a lot, and then they got Gallinari who can shoot over you because he's a pretty big dude too, so he got some size. So they got some bigger players on their team, but I think I think the more fun matchup is going to be Houston, and that's not
Well,
even
for
just
everybody-
bias.
for
I think that's
because they got the star power.
I think the star power, and then the games that they played during the regular season were fun to watch.
Says
Yeah,
there,
it's an entertaining team.
Yeah, it's entertaining. I mean,
Russ and
Chris is saying that there's an echo.
it's probably because we got two mics going at the same time, Chris. They're literally, I can reach out and poke one of these.
Is that what you
gentlemen.
think it is?
Yeah, because all mics are on, so there probably is a slight echo. But
Oh.
thanks for pointing it out, because you're the first person to say something about it.
Yeah.
But
Shout out to Chris.
Appreciate
I
that.
think
Chris.
I think that Houston is definitely going to be more entertaining team. They're going to make the Lakers work. They ain't going to try to shoot a hole. Well, they're going to run more than Portland is. Portland is settling for shots, I think. Trying to shoot themselves back in the game. They doing a lot of ISO and a lot of running. Houston is going to run. Houston's going to run at you. They got Russ.
Russ is gonna run at you, not you.
James can run at you sometimes. They got Aaron Gordon going to run at you.
They need to get Russ
Aaron
back.
Gordon
though.
gonna run at you.
That's the only problem. They need to get Russ back because it's looking bad for them without Russ.
Man,
Real
but
bad.
that's the thing, right? See this whole postponement. We got time for Russ to stretch that quad out a little bit.
That's what they need.
He was supposed to be a game time decision for game 5. He was suited up.
That's because they were nervous.
He was
nervous.
That's the thing
It's like,
about
hold on now, these boys ain't playing.
that's the thing about these middle seeded matchups though. Is it can always be anybody.
Rough in the
This
trenches.
Denver Utah series. Really any series in the West. This in the middle, not the top and the bottom.
I think that series over, my boy.
With who?
Denver and Utah.
What you saying, Jamal Murray? Kentucky native?
I mean, I also see Donovan Mitchell.
Okay, Donovan is going to do it. First of all, Denver's defensive rotations are horrible because you keep leaving the lane open and Donovan is going to explode that.
I think that series is over, my boy.
They going 7. They going 7.
It's actually
They
shocking
going
to
7
be
for
the
sure.
most entertaining series.
It has been the most entertaining series when you got two teams,
All right,
two players,
you know, basically
Stars, hoopers.
going off every game, 40, 50, 50. So, yeah.
I just want to say I've been to Bird was built like this. You were casual, but you didn't know he was built like this. I don't think people expected it.
I'll
Did
Kentucky.
y'all
Did
see
y'all see
Jokic?
Jokic?
Eight
Eight
first
first
quarter.
quarter. Yeah, like 20 something. Oh,
God,
God.
You said he trying to be Luka so bad. He was out there shooting.
Yeah.
I'm actually scared of a healthy Denver team.
Yeah, because they got a Kentucky native on it. You should be scared of every team.
Hey.
It's like,
I mean,
almost
I would
every
say
team
that
has a
Lakers
Kentucky native on
You
it.
know the Lakers fans said Denver Nuggets. We need to jump back.
She's not subscribing to that pick no more. You just
It was a joke. But I do really like the Nuggets, but I didn't expect them to actually make it to the finals.
That's them.
If y'all didn't know, he picked the Nuggets to make it to the finals.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pick them to get to the final.
I was very much just throwing their name out there, and I get slandered in the group chat every day because they took it really to heart.
You got coming out
They're not
there.
deep.
Toronto beating Milwaukee. Kyle Lowry terrible.
I got Celtics.
I hate
That's
him.
a good segue. Okay, so we also want to talk about the East a little bit. We got time? Okay, we want to talk about the East side, and one of the series I want to talk about, they playing each other now. They finna play, start playing each other, is going to be the... What's you laughing?
No, I was reading Chris's comment. There's a freaking echo. And anyway, I just felt like he yelled at us. That's all I was laughing. Carry on.
Celtics and the Raptors are going to be going head-to-head in the second round.
And those are our two picks coming out of the East.
Those are our two picks.
Whoever wins that series is winning the East Conference.
So who y'all got in that series?
Celtics and Raptors.
Celtics and
I think they
Raptors.
both beat the Bucks.
The Bucks aren't going anywhere. Stop, bud. They're not going
Bucks coming
nowhere.
out the East.
No, they're not.
Celtics hurt.
The Bucks coming out the
Bucks
Bucks.
coming out. I want y'all to know. I'm happy we saying this now. Bucks coming out the East. They coming out the East.
Ain't no way.
Now the Celtics gonna beat the Raptors because Kyle Lowry trash and Jason Tatum cold. Siakam is dead. He dead meat.
True.
Dead meat.
Jaylen Brown to kill it too. I don't think
Jaylen Brown definitely killed him.
Definitely doesn't. We talked about this a couple weeks ago.
But
Somebody
not-
disrespecting him comparing him to freaking Joe Johnson. Jaylen Brown is a bit different.
Yeah, I don't think it's Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson is
He's
definitely
a bucket, but
I wouldn't compare him to.
yeah.
Joe Johnson, right?
Joe
Johnson's better than-
I think we were
Joe
saying
Johnson's
that
better.
he's that kind of star in the NBA, like Joe Johnson.
Yeah, Joe Johnson don't
Caliber
really get no
of
big
star.
star.
He's not a
Everybody
super
just knew.
superstar.
Right, but Joe
Joe Johnson was
Johnson
all-star.
get
That's what
busy.
we were saying. Because everybody knows Joe Johnson can get busy. And he was always like one of the best players on the team.
I don't like that comparison still. But anyway, all of you are wrong. Toronto's winning that series.
Toronto's not winning that series. Okay. And so this is kind of one of the things I've been wanting to talk about this because I thought about this.
How many games?
I'm not gonna put a number on it because I do believe the Celtics are a talented team. I'm not gonna disrespect them. It could go all 7.
Put a number on it.
Nah.
What?
6-6 then. 6-6. Guaranteed.
That's not happening.
Anytime Chuck say guarantee, that means it's cursed.
I have a question about the Toronto Raptors, and that question is, why do people feel like that it was a surprise that they were this good this season?
Because first of all, last year people gave so much credit to Kawhi. People acted like Toronto hasn't always been a good team.
That's my point.
Toronto was a good team
before
they
Kawhi.
got rid of DeMar, who can be very inconsistent when you need him to, and they added Kawhi. All of a sudden, they got the star power in Kawhi, and they won a championship. And everybody gives credit to Kawhi, discrediting the fact that Toronto has been a good team for years. They just had to play LeBron.
And then also,
so now that Kawhi is gone, people are like, oh, Toronto ain't gonna do. No, Toronto is built.
My point is that they the same team that they was 2 seasons ago. They were the best team in the East, and what they do? What KD say to CJ a couple years ago? AFC. That's what's gonna happen. They gonna get knocked out like they AFC.
Who did they play?
Who
did they get knocked out by?
Blazers?
No.
Toronto.
They
Cleveland?
got knocked out by. Okay.
LeBron.
Okay, exactly. Who's not there this year? Oh, okay.
Celtics, who took LeBron to Game 7 when Tatum was a rookie. In the Eastern Conference Finals? Right. All right. So that's exactly who's going to knock them out. So
they're not beating
Toronto. That's my thing about Toronto.
Terry Rozier started because my boy was hurt.
Exactly.
You claimed him as your boy?
Kyrie was hurt?
No, it was
just claimed.
They was going to lose anyway.
Anyway.
That's my point. So they've been the same team. It was just Kawhi put them over the hump so they can actually do something in the playoffs. Now they're going back to being the team that loses in the playoffs every year. That's what's going to happen. There ain't no hype around Toronto.
I feel like Toronto hasn't had this many options either, though.
All right.
You got Kyle Lowry I don't like Kyle Lowry, but he ball when he needs to.
He's trash.
Kyle definitely comes up when you need him.
You got
not until last year he didn't.
Freddie has been.
You got I say he impactful. He
impacts the game.
Well, he wasn't able to do that until he had Kawhi Jordan on his team.
Nah, he did it with DeRozan.
Exactly.
He did not ever.
When DeRozan, I'm sorry, I love DeRozan, but when DeRozan is your second fiddle, you will never go anywhere.
No, DeRozan
as
was the first fiddle.
As San Antonio.
DeRozan was the first fiddle.
He was number 1.
Kyle Lowry's never the
second fiddle, it all depends on what seat you're sitting in, really.
Nah.
But still, DeRozan is never going to take you nowhere as your best player. Ask San Antonio fans, ask Greg Popovich.
So who would you consider the Raptors' best player right now?
Right now? Fred VanVleet the one playing like it, but Siakam is their best player.
I would say Pascal
Siakam for sure.
But that's what I'm saying. They got 3 legit people that are like actually getting buckets this year. And I don't think they really had that in the past.
Yeah, they got a monster.
They always had Marc Gasol too.
When?
Marc Gasol,
he ain't been none since
they just got him. They just got him last February.
He ain't been none since he left.
Yeah, you talking about?
That's a hard one.
Yeah, Marc Gasol passed his prime. That ain't the same.
Nah, but I think he can still have impact. I mean, who the Celtics got in center? You know what I'm saying?
I got Celtics.
And Ibaka, and they've been having Ibaka come off the bench. And the other night he was playing really well.
I think this is going to be probably one of the better series.
This is going to be the Eastern version to me of the Nuggets.
I think the West. If the Lakers and Clippers, if the West, want to get that? Can you get that? My phone. Just click this button on my phone. The side button.
That's the alarm. Whenever Josh starts saying dumb stuff, we like to wrap it up with an alarm.
It's over there.
And say, stop talking. But I do think it's going to be an entertaining series.
If the Lakers and the Clippers have a series, I think that's probably going to be the most entertaining series of the entire playoffs.
For sure.
But I think this series has the potential to be a really good one. Yeah. And I got Celtics in 7.
Nah, you think that would be the best one in the East? I think the Bucks Celtics.
Yeah, I don't think. I just feel like the Bucks are gonna come up small.
I am standing on it.
And they're gonna get beating like
the Bucks.
I think Giannis really gonna.
The Heat are beating the Bucks.
I think the Heat. No, I think the Heat.
Is it really a hot take?
No, I think the Heat.
Is it really a hot take?
If
you watching Miami Heat basketball,
I really like Miami because they got 2 Kentucky players. Feel me?
What's up with you in Kentucky?
My favorite team.
Yeah.
We touch almost every team in the bubble. I tell you.
I'm North Carolina.
But you can't barely win championships. Yeah, I think the Heat.
Relax.
The Heat can beat.
They're
the
either gonna beat the
I think
Bucks.
they will.
It's not can. They will beat the Bucks.
No,
And that's one of the few times we see eye to eye on the series. The Heat are beating the Bucks. How many games?
I think they. I think it's when the Bucks lose, they're gonna get slapped, and it's gonna be like a 5 or 6 games. I'm gonna say Bucks.
My thing is,
I'm gonna say Heat in 5.
The Heat got weapons. You know,
Yeah.
hey, what's crazy is I almost said 5. Hey, you know what, Josh?
I'm
No,
saying
the Heat got some weapons. Like,
I
you
think
never
the
know
Bucks-
who's
Duncan Robinson the other night
That's
went 7 of 8,
That's
all
over with next
threes.
series.
You got Hero out there.
That's over
Jimmy
with.
can jump up and drop 30, or he might only drop 15, but he gonna impact the game so much that he's still gonna. Man, you got none. You got Dragic. He been playing well. Don't forget Bam Adebayo.
Oh, that's over with.
You know he hooping.
And then you can
That
put
low
Bam
key beating the Bucks.
Low
Bam-
key,
Bam
George
can guard
sit-
Giannis,
George
too.
Hill sit down low key. Man, George Hill low key sit
George
down.
George Hill is good.
George Hill is good. I just
Man,
my
George Hill-
respect for him dipped a little bit when he missed
No.
them free throws in 2018.
Probably so, but George
He's gonna
Hill
lose the
sit
series.
down. Eric Bledsoe
But still, them
sit
free throws is
down.
crucial. I just
They
put up
over with.
58
They got
to 8.
some
You gonna
older
miss them?
goonies over there. Like, man, we not going out like that.
I'm
I don't
telling
think
you,
they got enough weapons.
Miami gonna beat the Bucks.
They got
Miami?
enough defensive weapons.
No, I'm talking about the Bucks.
The Bucks don't have it.
That's why.
Not to
I
win the
don't-
finals.
Yeah,
Not to win
it,
the
but not to win the
East.
East.
They're not coming out the East, bro.
They're not coming out the East.
I got Celtics.
Celtics.
You don't think they can beat the Celtics?
They can't even beat the Heat.
They're not gonna beat the Heat, bro.
What? Y'all don't think they go to the conference finals?
After
No.
after they
They go
lose
to
to the Heat, I'm inviting you back to the show.
These dudes disrespectful around here. Why
Y'all are more than welcome to come back to the show after they
Y'all ain't
after
won
they
these?
lose to the Heat.
Y'all don't think they beating Miami?
No.
No.
Jimmy Butler ain't even been playing that good. It's been bad.
And they still been smacking.
And Bam, right.
Because
That's what they
Jimmy
was playing.
Jimmy doesn't have
The
to drop 30
Pacers
to win.
with no Sabonis.
Jimmy don't have to
with
drop
no
30 to
Sabonis
win.
I'm not saying
and,
they've been playing
Just
all-
coming back on the depot.
I think they'll play up to the Bucks. I don't even feel like they got to play up to the Bucks. They'll beat the
Tyler
Bucks.
Hero and
They a
Bam.
tougher
you
team.
feel me?
They
But
got Bam. They got Tyler Hero. They got
They
Dragic.
They
That's
got
over
deeper,
with.
more
Still ain't
consistent
said Jimmy
pieces.
Buckets yet.
4-2.
That's why I said Jimmy can drop
4-2.
50
And,
off,
and the
still
thing about it,
gonna
I feel like
So imagine if
Bam,
he go off.
Bam can guard Giannis.
He can guard Giannis.
He can't guard. He can't stop him. Nobody can stop him.
Yeah.
But he can.
About 6'8", I can stop.
And the same.
He can-
It's I can do
You
it.
say that, man.
This is the
If
same
you
thing I've been
was 6'8",
saying.
You couldn't stop that.
Same thing
man.
I've been
stop
saying.
Giannis.
Man, no,
You
you
let
won't.
Giannis
stop
do what
Giannis.
he want to do.
Oh, man,
If
now you
nobody
let
else
Giannis
gets
be
involved,
6'8".
they lose.
I'm
So Giannis
calling
can do
it.
whatever he want. You don't have to guard him for real. If nobody else is on, they are off.
You gotta go.
Because you saw game one.
I don't care what you saw, but it's easy to say that until you see that man coming at you.
We gonna see.
I'm not worried about it. He can only
You better
spin
be.
or do a Euro.
Man, that
It's
man's-
too predictable.
That man is so long, bro.
He's unguardable. I agree. He's
gonna get it
unguardable.
up.
He's
If
dominant.
he's scoring on me, most
dominant.
of it's gonna come off hustle rebounds, putbacks.
He's dominant and
And they
unguardable.
ain't,
It's gonna be
he ain't
bad.
dropping
It's gonna be like,
20 nothing
oh,
on me.
You can
out.
double
What?
team
If
him.
you 6'8",
If I'm 6'8", no. Ain't
Yes,
no
he
way.
is.
Ain't
Yes,
no
he is.
man.
You can
Yeah.
double team him. He's unguardable. He's a good passer. I mean, y'all don't sleep on
He can't
Giannis.
shoot, so he gotta come to you.
Look, at the
Yeah,
end of the
but
day,
Yeah.
this-
he's
this
a
what
good
it comes to.
passer,
That's
so he
easy to say,
can.
though.
He's going. You can.
This
Only way
what
you
it
can
comes
stop
to.
him.
But he know
I
he
feel like
can't
I
shoot.
don't-
Only way you can stop him is with a double team. So the fact he's a good passer, that coupled with, and he's got a bunch of shooters around him.
'Cause
He's
he
a
can't
dominant
shoot.
player.
That don't mean nothing.
That don't mean nothing. Shaq couldn't shoot.
I can't
He's
shoot.
just as dominant.
And a lot of people say let him shoot, and I'm going exactly where I want, and I ain't nowhere near as good as him.
But they ain't nowhere as people that be guarding you ain't nowhere near as smart as me either. You see what happened when I guard you, right?
Hey.
That's what you
Nothing.
be
That's
scoring.
tough.
That's what you be scoring.
That's
Hold on,
straight
last
talk.
time
You
we
said-
knew what happened.
You-
Who
you
teams
beat-
won though? Who team won
Your
though?
team won. Was I guarding you?
It don't matter who's guarding me.
Who did you
What was you
abuse?
telling your team?
Everybody
though?
else.
What was you telling your team?
Wait for him at the
And
spot.
what was happening?
Because you kind of play like Giannis.
And
a
what was
little bit,
happening?
small
I was getting
version.
to my spot still. You can
Yeah,
beat her.
because they not as smart as me. When I get
You
on
can
there,
beat
what
her.
happened? What
Meet
happened?
her. You know what I'm saying?
I meet you there.
Meet me there, don't
Yeah,
meet me
don't beat me there. I see you when I get there though.
And
We'll talk about it when I get there.
We're gonna bring the podcast to the game. We're gonna settle this at the
Yeah.
game. At the gym. We're gonna come to y'all.
We can-
Straight Talk coming to you live from a gym one of these days soon. Wait
of these
until
days.
That'll be
some
good.
stuff
Pull up.
open up a little more, and then we gonna bring them back after the Heat beat the Bucks so we can bust a little bubble talking about they making it. Stop it.
That's not
Whole lot of
happening.
cat. They are not making it out the East.
No,
They are
they're
not
not
making
making it out
it.
the
Even
East.
if they
Nah,
beat
I'm
the
happy
Heat,
I'm happy all three of y'all said this.
They can beat the
when
Heat if they
make
want
it
to.
out
They
the
are not
East,
beating the
I'm be
Celtics
sitting on
or
my
the
throne
Raptors.
somewhere chilling. You feel me? Like, man, people don't want to listen to me.
We gonna see you like third week of September after they lose. Hey, welcome back, Bug. How'd you feel?
Oh, okay. We gonna see. Y'all gonna be mad.
So moving on, gentlemen, we appreciate you coming through. It's been a great show.
Good job,
Clap it
man.
up for our guests in the live studio audience. Show them some love. Shout out Justin. Shout out Jay Bug.
Straight up.
We appreciate you guys.
She's still on the
Yeah, some of our studio audience have fell asleep. But so moving forward, It's that time, Josh. You know who our Petty Betty is this week.
It's that time for Petty Betty of the Week. This is your segment, so go ahead, let us know who Petty Betty is.
We got a little surprise for y'all
Who's
in
Petty Betty?
the audience. The
Okay.
Petty Betty is actually our very own producer.
What?
She's thrown together a little video for us. She got some petty stuff up her sleeve. We want to see what it's about.
I want to see this pettiness. Go
Roll
ahead.
the tape, ladies and gentlemen. Roll the tape. Let us see what's going on. That is what the producer threw together for us
Petty
this week.
Betty.
I feel like Charles Barkley, how they be doing him inside the NBA.
Did you see how they did Kenny with the little dog?
Yeah.
I haven't. I heard it. I was weak.
Yeah, they had that fat dog with them little bitty legs. They said, this Kenny in his skinny pants suit. That was Kenny. But, yeah, man.
That was pretty petty. That
You
was
know?
the All-Star.
It was something we had been talking about a little bit the last couple weeks. She said, yeah, I got something for him. I got something. I said, let me see some of these players. She threw me a couple, but there was some curveballs in there. The D'Angelo Russell, I ain't see that one coming.
Yeah.
Mike Conley, though, we was trying to figure out who you look like.
It was all pretty good.
It's
I
tough
give
to
you
do.
the Mike Conley one. I kind of got
The Sean
a
Livingston,
little
I think.
bit.
I think
But
Sean
yeah,
Livingston is
Billy,
spot on.
Billy
Yeah,
has
that's
the
the
Sean
best
Livingston.
one.
That's
That's the
obvious.
best one.
It was, see, some of the other ones
We've
that
been
was up
calling
there.
him that-
Spencer Dinwiddie was up there for you.
Spencer Dinwiddie? For
Yeah,
me?
Spencer Dinwiddie. And I could also see, I forgot, who was I just going to say? Garrett Temple.
What about it?
That's the
Deion?
all-star lineup. We had
Is D'Angelo Russell? Yeah.
Deion and D'Lo actually look.
They look a lot.
They look a lot
They're
alike.
pretty. That's a
Especially
good
that
He
second
does,
picture.
Deion.
The second picture with the hair being
because they got
on.
the hair. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that was definitely spot on.
And we're gonna send this to everybody.
Yeah, they gotta see it.
Send
The Tyler family all-star straight talk lineup. But Dwight Howard ain't that bad.
Man, with all the stuff going on with him.
I knew you wasn't gonna like that.
We focusing on 2020 Dwight
Hey,
Howard.
when she showed me that, I
He
was
got
like,
red dreads.
he's not gonna like
Paint.
Dwight. He's
Paint.
not gonna
We
like
got, we
having
got the
a
little
Dwight.
Uzi dreads.
He got
He got the little Uzi dreads.
Yeah.
His shoulders too big to be doing a little shimmy, but he got the little Uzi dreads.
You got it's the shoulders.
To be doing a lot.
You got wide shoulders, just like
We'll say that for another day. I don't really want to bring that up now.
We ain't gonna go there. You've had your moments for the day talking about animals on the show, so we're gonna get to your segment now that we are done with mine. What time is it, Josh?
It's time for speaking or shouting, and this is not just my segment. This is your segment too. And I'm gonna go to you first.
Whoa.
Are you speaking or are you shouting?
I'm gonna speak.
Go ahead, speak
Now,
then.
mind
to our
y'all,
ref.
speaking or shouting does not necessarily have to pertain to sports like the rest of this show. It can be about whatever you want. We get hard in here. We talk about struggle. We talk about voting. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about my job.
We used to
right?
talk about school all the time.
Yeah, we used to talk about school because we was going through it, boy. We was trying to graduate.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna talk about my personal life a little bit, man. I'm trying to get me a new gig. So if you know anybody that's hiring, doing something that's worth my time, I might have to holler at the shift leader, Jay Hill, working the warehouse. But nah, man, my job is crumbling. Like one dude put his 2 weeks in.
Everybody quitting.
Yeah, two people doing interviews. My boss told me they trying to fire him. I said, what the hell going on here? Okay, hold on now. Y'all gonna... Because if all of y'all leave, it's going to be like 3 people working. I ain't finna work there with 3 people. I done did that before when I started.
No.
And it's, hell no.
Not where you work.
You see how busy it get. We get down.
Nah.
We get down.
Yeah.
I work in a bank, ladies and gentlemen. Newhouse Ferry. And it's rough. It gets crowded. They be in there flocking. And I ain't got time for it. And my boss let me do whatever I want to do. Okay? I ain't got time to lose. That's a good boss. Master treat me good. Okay? It's a black man, by the way. So I'm just playing. But he treat me good, man. I do whatever I want. The other day I said, man, I want to leave at 4. He said, okay. He let me leave. You can't do that with nobody else. See, if he get fired, they gonna replace him with some stick in the mud white man. I know it. It's gonna be a white man.
Yeah.
And he ain't gonna let me do what I want to do.
They're gonna try to clean up the joint.
Yeah, and I ain't see. For my current boss, I don't mind being the first one and the last one to leave. I do all the things he need me to do around the branch. He let me do whatever. You know what I'm saying? He helped me make money outside. We be selling dope and stuff together. So we, you know what I'm saying? We got it down pat.
No.
This is straight talk.
Oh, you're right. Straight talk.
I don't sell no dope, yeah. But no, for real, I'm scared, Josh. I'm scared. Holla at Malawi Aquatics. Give me a job or something.
My other job you might be able to do something with
you work too much.
I don't work too much.
I work overnight
because I work 2 jobs.
You work overnight.
Overnight ain't that bad. You get used to it. It ain't that bad.
I feel like if we work together, it's gonna end up being a problem. But look, anyway, that's just if you got time, anybody at home, America, help me find a job. That's all I want to say.
We got you. Hit me, bro. Holla
at me, bro. For real. And hit my cash app, $sign. Anyway, go ahead. What you got going on? You speaking of shouting this week?
I am going to be
speaking. Go ahead, shout. Ooh. Go ahead and speak on it.
What you got too much to speak up about other than we just got to make changes, man. It's that time. You know, I hate to be cliche because I feel like everybody talking about this, but we got to talk about it. Need changes. Got to stop killing us just because we black. Stop being scared of us and stop making it seem like it's okay to shoot a man 7 times in the back that's running, or not even running, just walking into his car, trying to get into his car, and you just shoot him. Like, that's not okay. And it's a double standard. So if it was a white guy, he would have, probably got a Burger King.
Just like the young man that got a water after people are yelling. He just
shot
people.
Killed somebody, yeah. It's a double standard. So we just got to stop. I think, they say defund the police, and everybody likes to take that word defund and just run with it as if we mean, get rid of the police. Like, that makes any kind of sense. No, obviously nobody thinks we need to get rid of the police. We just need to change the way the police operate and change the funds.
How they're distributed. What they're
change the funds that are given to the police for the reasons that they're given to them, like the militarization. Like, that doesn't need to be the case.
Speak on it.
For police dealing with civilians, it's talking about the using the certain what's the word, elements, not elements, but using the resources. The resources that they use to take care of situations. Why are people crunking in my background?
We got the studio audience crumping. They really feeling this. This is a spoken word piece, Josh.
Yes. No, I mean, it's okay. It's all good.
The protester dude was crumping in front of the police. Maybe that's how she felt. That's the best way to change.
Yeah, we gotta change it. But yeah, we just gotta redistribute the resources that we give to the police. And Darius says, or change how long the training takes for them to be cops. Absolutely. I trained 4 years to be a quote-unquote journalist. I think journalism is a little bit easier than being a cop. So I think they need a little bit more training. Maybe they need to go to a 4-year college to be a cop and learn law. Like, I had to learn law as a journalist. It was an okay class, but I probably know more about and part of the class was being like, I remember we had one session. I'm going on a tangent. We had one session where a lawyer came in and it was telling the black people how to behave when a cop pulls you over. That was part of it. So I learned that in school, and this is another thing. But yeah, we just gotta make change. So I'm using this platform.
6-year minimum like doctors.
Yeah, I mean 6-year minimum like doctors. Yeah, Daria. I think it's got to be something different. What they're doing now is just not working. Like, you can clearly tell, and you see it on camera. It seems like at least once a month at this point that it's time to that they just don't know how to treat black people.
Especially after seeing that footage the other night with those men posted up outside of a business. Who's to say it's your business? You posted up with guns and the cops are saying, "Hey, we appreciate what you guys are doing." What the hell are they doing besides being domestic terrorists walking around with AR-15s? Who are you? Why are you policing the neighborhood?
They can even post up, but I mean, once you see him kill somebody,
what are you thanking them for? And what are you running past the guy waving in the street with his hands up with a gun, and people are saying he shot someone? You just like, hey, keep it up, man.
Yeah.
Good night.
And I know they heard the gunshots.
You talking about it's a curfew out. I don't want to say that the curfew is to blame, but if you were, why are you even bringing it up?
that's gonna be it for the show, man. And we just gonna continue to, have this discussion. This was a dope show. We talked about, we even got to squeeze in some basketball at the end of it. Have fun with that. But the main thing was, again, Breonna Taylor, Jacob Blake.
Jason.
We need justice in both those situations. I want to thank Justo and Boog for coming out being our guests. That was really dope of them.
Y'all.
We had some.
They'll be back after the
conversations.
Heat beat the Bucks, by the way.
Yeah, they're gonna be back. We're gonna have them on a little regularly if they want to. Anytime y'all want to come on the show, just let us know. Hit me, bruh. Holla at me, bruh, and we can let it go. All right. So appreciate you guys. See y'all